All right, all right. I will be with you all in one moment. We're going to get the show started. I appreciate everybody for coming through. The time right now is 7:40 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's go ahead. Um, Forgive me for taking a second, you guys. I don't really see a rush for the morning show anyway. I don't know. There's never a rush for this show right here. Now my evening show, I would say yeah, more so. So let me go ahead and forgive me, you guys. Okay. Oh boy. Mhm. Well, I don't know about you. Um, I'm not even going to go over the hill and be like, man, my weekend was it's been so phenomenal. But I will say it damn sure turned out to be a lot better than what I thought. It did. I wasn't expecting not near one bit of anything that took place my entire weekend. I did not see that coming. Just like a lot of things I didn't see coming. And yeah, I'm so serious when I say you talking about a man who is appreciative. So we're gonna kick things off. I'm gonna get us warmed up here with a nice little beginner video. Yeah, I know how we do. Go ahead, have a little laugh or something. Then we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna talk about this topic, okay? So let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. All right. So, man, give me one moment. Pull this up. Let's see something chill. Okay, we on all cylinders. Yeah, that side is good too. All right, that side is good too. All right, so let me go chill. Give me 1 second. We just gonna start it off nice and chill. I swear on life, yo. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let's just have a good laugh to kick it off, okay? Respect to you all.
You know what I'm talking about? Because you know what, fellas? There comes a time in your life, you stand up for yourself. Stop fucking lying to make somebody else feel good. Nigga, you know you. Shit. Women think they know us. You know why they think we lie? Because we do. And we gotta start telling their ass the truth. Stop fucking hiding from yourself. Every man in here. And they help us. They always try to think they know us. Watch this. Women help them. Watch this. Watch how they finish this statement. Women, this how they think they know us. Watch this. They'll help me finish this. Women say men will sleep with. See how fucked up that is? We don't sleep. See, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all don't know us. See, that's fucked up. We don't sleep with anything. We sleep with what's available. Got us fucked up. Talking about we sleep with anything. We sleep with what's available. Because what y'all really don't know is We try to sleep with the fine women first. So when we out, like the brothers, we go out to a bar, lounge, a club, we try to sleep with the dimes first. That's where all our money go, talking to the dimes. What's up, love? Hey, what's up, baby? Hey, yo, call me. What's up? Call me, girl. Hell yeah. Damn, you fine. Yeah. Buying shit, all dime shit, buying. All your money gone, because all dimes got shit to do. You gotta pick a child up, go to church, log on to school, fucking go to church. And when them dimes leave, your money gone. And when they leave, if we still in the club, and there's
my bad, I wanted to kill some time. I wanted to, I don't know why. I felt like my nose was running. Let's go ahead and get to the real video. So let me get back to this in which I was speaking about, right? Hold on. Here we go. Awesome intro, by the way. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. This is it. Down. Okay, so yes. Let's go ahead. Let's continue where we left off last night. Let's see what we got. Okay. So this is where, let me see something here. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure we was at the right spot. Let me see something. Okay, so this is part 2 of what we were speaking about last night. All right. So we're just going to take our time. We're just going to ease with this discussion. And let me check this one off. Forgot I had this. Okay. Hold on. We're going to get into this discussion. We're going to see what they're talking about on the full level scale when they speak of dating online, like, you know, whether, I don't know, dating influencers, dating coaches, or just people in relationships talking about it. Well, now, I don't think dating coaches and I don't think those are the ones really. I think they're really talking about people just getting online and talking. Like literally what I'm doing. I have no certification in none of this stuff. The only thing I'm certified in is life. That's about it. I have a gold certificate in life experience, but when you're talking about the true science of these things, it goes a lot deeper than just you being able to really express your experience. It's deeper than that, because that's how we get all into the mental chemical components of the brain. It's a lot. So don't mind me. I like to make sure, again, everything is always nice and clean around me. I'm just getting these little bit of shake around me. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. The time right now is 7:48 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's go ahead and push play on the video. I'm not even going to hold this up no longer. Let me check. Okay, let's go.
Is you're on here telling people how to be in relationships, and you don't really want to be in one. You're not pursuing a monogamous relationship with a young lady, but you're selling and making money off of people wanting to be in relationship. It just throws me.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but didn't she say that he was in a long-term relationship? I guess he positioned it as I'm in a long-term relationship.
Now, that's the thing about it. So I'm starting getting, okay, I got a much better feel for what's going on here now. Okay, so, right. And so, see, the thing about it is this, right? The thing about it is when you have people that's actually really pursuing it, you know, in its fullness, like its absolute fullness and everything that we know comes with it. I would find it very difficult to be having a discussion with somebody who just chooses not to pursue it. I don't, that, like, I can't front. Like, if I am sitting down, like, let me see, like a marriage counselor. Would you go see, like, you and your counterpart, right? You and your woman, you and your man. If you all going through it, would you all see, or do you know a single marriage counselor? Because I was just thinking about that. If that exists, does anybody know of that? And would you see one? If so, would you go get your advice from now? I'm not talking about they were married for like 40 years themselves. No, I'm talking about they've never been married. As a matter of fact, they don't have kids either. But they are a marriage counselor. Like, that's the field they got into, counseling for marriages. Would you go for that? Because, a lot of times people go to pastors, I guess, for marriage counseling. And it's a lot of pastors that aren't married. They're single men. They're bachelors. And they give marriage counseling. So what's your whole take on all of that right there? You let me know. All right, let's go ahead and get back to it.
Relationship. That's how the audience sees it. Because she said, I listened to her, he would introduce her to the audience. So he is positioning this as, I am in a committed relationship. That's how he's positioning it.
For 8 years and no marriage, that should have sent a red flag to half the audience. If you say you have an 8-year girlfriend, right. What is he really doing?
All right, so look, I believe that in that case, people should make things clear. Now, I'll tell you right now, I always give this example, right? My cousin Barry. All right. And shout out to my cousin Barry. I hope that his health gets better. Big ups to him. So my cousin Barry, right? Him and cousin Vita, we call her, that's Cuzzo, that's family right there, right? His lady, his old lady. They are not married. You can't tell them that though. Barry and Vita have been together over 25 years, no work, no paperwork, no ring. Still together. They've gone through every single thing a married couple has gone through. The ups, the downs, the what are we going to do? Just lost a job, just got a job, all of that. The typical things people spend together long enough usually can have times of going through. That man, I'm serious. Barry has been with Vita since I was a kid. I'm 42. I remember seeing Vita. I've been seeing Vita in the family since I was like 7, 8. I'm talking about a kid. Now that's my cousin's girl. They're not married. They're still right now together. They live together. They still together. Barry and Vita still together. So I wonder, and it's like, I'm not going to front. Like, no one in the family, maybe rest in peace Aunt BJ, his mother, right? My aunt. Maybe Aunt BJ say, when y'all gonna get married, Barry? I don't know, maybe so, but I don't ever really, like, none of us. We don't never sit and be like, so Barry, when are y'all gonna get? I myself never remember saying that to him. And he's my older cousin, but that's my cousin. We kind of hang out, we chill, we at cookouts, we'll talk, we'll kick it, you know what I'm saying? Drink a beer, talk. I've never heard nobody say to Barry and Vita, why don't y'all get married? We all just know they're together. Like, they're a married couple for free. They got married for free. One day they just got together and never left each other. They are. Now that I think they're a free married couple, but life isn't free. So now the thing about it is, though, my cousin Barry is not online preaching about relationships. Nah, that's just what he do. And see, that's another thing too. When we keep putting up all of these like these like made to be standards, and that's why when folks like myself from real life be hearing certain things, I'm like, but I know and like I got a cousin that and I'm not saying what make the minor the majority, but she did, like, I'm with sis because she been killing it. But she asked him, you got a girl for 8 years and why you not married her yet? That's a red flag. And the first thing came in my mind was, my cousin Barry has been with Vita since I was 8 years old and I'm 42. They are not married. They are still together to this day. They got paperwork together and everything. Now, what I do wonder is when one pass away, because see, Maryland does not recognize common law marriage. So, I mean, I guess maybe, you know, but wills, you know, you can always have a will. You can always have something put in paper to what you want to go to who. That can always, you can always make sure you do that. But yeah, they ain't got that paperwork. That's interesting. I just thought all this time, man. My own cousin actually is one of them. Yeah, my cousin Barry, and I love that man too. Both of them dope as shit. Like they, I'm telling you, they come by, you not gonna be like, oh, that's his girl. Nah, you gonna be like, oh yeah, that's, unless maybe you look and peep, it's no ring. Maybe you peep, like neither one of them got a ring.
He's not committing, at all. So that should have been a red flag if he says me and this girl been dating for 8 years. Sir, close the deal. What's happening?
I can't say that because I dated that long before I got married.
Sorry.
So
you're a repentant man.
How do you all see that? How do you all see that long of it? Me, I'm gonna be honest with you. At the point of where I am now, I'll say max about 2 years. By year 2, I'll be on one knee. By year 2, I should be on one knee. Yeah, it don't take that long. I know if I want to marry you from when I first meet you, you know, I'm just, because I pay attention. I know what I want as a man. So, and that's only because I know myself to know what I want, right? I know me, so I know what I want. Always remember that about you. Know yourself.
And
he different. He different.
Me to do that.
He different now.
I am delivered.
So okay, Anita, let me pose this to you, because I understand about the sexual impulse.
You gotta go straight to Kojo with that one, because
okay, Kojo.
Yeah, okay, we shouldn't even leave that, because right now Kojo, look, first of all, I'm looking at Kojo handsome.
Right.
All right, so when I'm looking at Kojo, you got all this damn relationship advice. I'm gonna hit it now. I'm gonna hit you with that Tony Gaskin now. You got all the relationship advice. All the podcasting going on.
Let's let that go by real quick. 1 second, y'all. I want to let him finish his point before I respond. Here we go. Let's get back to it.
So Kojo, talk to us about that, Kojo. Because I honestly think that is a good question. I mean, even for me and Ryan, that even is eventually coming up, right? Don't get me wrong. You know, we've been in the relationship space now for about 3 years, but I mean, we go 8 years in a relationship space and we still single.
Right.
I'm sure it's going to be some heavy eyebrows looking at us.
It's a problem.
Like, what y'all got going on over there? Right. And I can imagine, let's keep it 1,000. The relationship space is flooded with women. The biggest thing we trying to do at Harlem Initiated, which is why we always switching things up, is we trying to make sure we constantly attracting brothers.
Correct.
Because you got to have a certain tone to keep brothers in the conversation. You can't be just pandering and not speaking and representing honest thoughts of men.
Thank you. And that's the thing I noticed. It is me. Now, you know what's sad I notice in these spaces? And I'll say a shout out to Iz. I got to give credit where credit's due, right? So shout out to Iz, because I remember him saying that, and I remember I told him I heard him say that. There is no balance in these spaces. Now, you're either all the way one way, you're all the way another way, and those of us who in real actual time in life have something called balance, we're called the fence straddlers. We're called the ones who play both sides of the field. Last time I checked, if you on a field, right, a football field, a basketball court, you're going to be on both sides of that field at some point. When you're on defense, let's take basketball. That's better because the same people stay on the court. Yeah. I'm down on this end of the court and I'm on offense right now. Once we score, they pass that ball back in. I'm back trading down court, and I'm on the other side. Do I play for one team? Yeah. But do I at times need to make sure that I cover all ends in order to win the game? Absolutely. I can't just play offense. In the streets, we call that cherry picking. Get back down here. Stop cherry picking. Just follow me. This is a beautiful Sunday this morning. Today, and now the time is 8 o'clock on the dot a.m. East Coast Standard Time. I thank you all for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get back to the show.
To keep them in a conversation, even if that slows your viewership down and blocks off your audience, to authentically bring men in is hard. So
tell me about it. Tell me about it. It is so, listen, I'm going to tell you guys this now. I'm going to everybody, to my sisters, to my brothers. This is for anybody who's starting this. I'm still a starter in this. I don't care 2.5 years or so. I'm still a beginner. A lot of these people have been doing this for a decade plus. I ain't got no time in this. But I'm going to tell you right now, I got enough time to know what this thing consists of. And I tell you, when you decide to go the right route about this, when you decide not to clout chase, when you decide not to just be an ass kisser and a brown noser, right? When you, and I'm going to look up that term. Let me see, what's this? Oh, shit. Good morning to you too. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's what's up, yo. That's what I'm talking about. Little things that make you smile. That's what's up. So hold on, y'all. One second. All right. So yeah, when you're in these spaces and you're trying to do it the right way, if you're not clout chasing, if you're not with the, you know, a lot of people, they have their shows, it's just full of bullshit. He is absolutely right. When it comes to like really trying to get like good people to be engaged with these discussions, that shit ain't easy. I'm telling you, it's quiet over here where I'm at, and it's for a reason. It's because of the method in which I choose to do it. And I want to do it in an authentic method. I'm not buying no viewers. I'm not doing a bunch of begging, right? I do what I do over here in my corner, and then I leave everybody else alone for the most part. If I do come your way, it's only to cheer you on for the most part. Those who I respect. Let's keep on going.
I can imagine. Do you also have a majority audience of ladies?
That's how it is.
That's how it works.
I would say my small audience that I have a small audience. I would say it's pretty mixed. And I do appreciate that. I love the fact that I do have a decent selection of sisters that do engage. And I get a good chance to have different perspectives from women. And I also appreciate my fellows who come through as well, because the men is who I speak to. I don't talk at nobody. So always remember that. Don't talk at people, talk to them, right? So I talk to my fellas. I holler at us because I'm one of us, right? But I shall always forever be my brother and my sister's keepers. All of you, it don't matter who you are and what position in my life you stand in, you still one of mine. You still one of mine. I still want to see you smile and make it regardless. And it has, you have to have that thought. You want to know why? because that's when you really start to learn to encompass truly what love is, because love transcends relationships, even down to that part. When we up here talking about love in relationships and stuff, you know, that love transcends. You know, the love that you have for that person that you're with should be the exact same love that you know that you naturally have in your everyday life. I don't really have a separate love for the person I'm with, but I do have a separate connection that is unique. But the love itself, that is just what I encompass for whomever I have it to give to. Let's keep going.
So, I mean, do you think that, first of all, how long have you been coaching in the relationship space, by the way, Kojo? I've
only really been coaching since last year. So actual coaching since last year. Yeah.
No, but do you think that there's a level of a lack of credibility that comes with staying single as a coach in the relationship space?
There can be. Again, I think it depends on what you're trying to coach and what you're trying to teach, right? Again, going back to my original point I made last time I was on the panel, I said wisdom above all things, number one. Number two, submittance to God. And that should be number one, but you know what I mean? My thing about this situation is that when it comes to being a single person, for instance, let's say someone's been single and they're doing their mission, right? We actually don't know what God has said to that person. So as they're journeying along, whilst you may think they should be married by year 2 in their journey of their mission that God has called them to, it may not be in year 2. It might be in year 8 that they're meant to be married. So we have to be very careful how we label what somebody's journey is when you don't have what God has said to that person.
Absolutely. And I'll just put it in a way in which I continuously word it. Stop trying to make everything a totality when it comes to relationships. The biggest problem that I notice we have in these spaces with people who try to coach it, teach it, tell you, talk to you about it, they always speak to you about it from a very one-sided, narrow, this is what I think it should be. So if you're over here, this is how we look at it. No. Invite people over to let them come and tell you how they see it, and then give them the best advice that will assist them in their personal walk and travel. You may have 2 people come to you, right? One person's getting ready to take a travel, and majority of their travel is going to be through a desert. Another person may come to you, and majority of their travel may be through the forest. One person, you may need to make sure that you give them ample water. They don't need for you to give them the same thing that you're going to give them supply-wise as the person going into the forest. It's 2 different elements, but both of them are going on a journey. But you try to give both people the same package. Can they survive and make it? Yeah, it's called surviving, right? Survival. But how do people usually respond when they're on survival mode? It's a difference between living, thriving, and surviving. Now let's think about that for a second. Right? So stop trying to make relationships like this one. That's why I always like to just speak about what I've seen, what I've experienced, and then I just leave that on the table. I never try to, I'm not forcing nothing down anybody's throat. No, I'm not. No, this isn't Eat the Cake Anime's corner. This is Smitty's corner, not Eat the Cake Anime's corner. Okay, so let's keep on going.
You may feel it's okay that they should be married at year 3 because that's what you feel like, but that's not maybe what God has said to them. Now, if they themselves are not submitted to God, we're wasting our time even having this conversation, because again, they're not submitting to God's principles and God's laws and God's way of doing things. So we have to be very careful how we put that yoke on other people, right? The way the world does things, the way the world does things. But if we're talking from a Christian perspective, I would say that before you start talking about whether they should be married by year 5, pray and ask God and ask God if He told you to tell them first and foremost they should be married by year 5.
I can't front. I'm telling you. All right, listen, right? Listen. Man, this is going to be a tough one to open up. Okay, watch. I want you. Please follow me, y'all. Follow me, because it's going to be points in this. You're going to be like, what is he saying? I am all the way a believer. There's no way for me to make it through what I made it through and say that was luck. No, that was a guided hand of mercy that was bestowed upon me on this beautiful Sunday morning. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me life. So listen, right? When you say, talk to God about it, you got to be careful with that. You want to know why? Because there are a lot of times we could be so wrapped up in our emotions when we praying. We thinking that voice is God talking to us, telling us this and telling us that. Sometimes that could just be you talking to you. But you are talking to God. See, listen, that's why I said, follow me. I'm telling you, man, this prayer thing can get a little, it's not as simple as just bowing your head, closing your eyes, and putting your hands together. It's a state of being in which one must be in when praying. It's a whole everything that's involved with prayer. I mean, when you really go into prayer. So when you say ask God, be careful. Because sometimes folks can turn right around and be like, God told me we not supposed to. You don't know. That could have just been your emotions. God could have been telling you throughout your prayers to be still. You don't know. So all I'm saying is we got to be careful with these things. Just be careful. And again, I'm full believer. There is paradise, and there is the lake of yeah, the lake exists too. There is also something called limbo, purgatory. Yes, all of these things exist. So I'm just saying that to say, be careful with what we call when we say we talk to God. I'm very careful with that. Be careful when you're caught up in your emotions. Of course, go to God if you're crying. Go to God, like pray, like, yes, you may be weeping and you may be like, God, help me, right? But you got to be real careful with the decision that you make right after that. God doesn't always respond right then and there when you think. Your prayer has already been answered long before you were even a twinkle in your parents' eyes. You didn't know you were going to be there that day, but God knew that day was going to happen. But the response that God has for you in that particular moment may not be that day. That's why we got to be careful with what we call, I talk to God about it. Be careful with that one. Then that's why I'm real easy about, I don't bring God into my affairs too much, but I allow God to intervene because I don't have no choice. I'm not the controller, God is, right? That's the humbleness of it. Let's keep going.
For me personally,
but yes, never stop praying. Go to God before you go to people. How about that one too? All right. Go to God before you go to an online relationship person. Go to God first, and then you can make stops wherever else. But go inside you and go to God first. So I'm not going to say like he's saying something wrong. I don't want that. I don't want my message to get misconstrued. Let's go.
I think I spoke this about on Dear Future Wife's podcast a couple of years ago. I said, I'm not in no space to be married. I've got a self-sabotaging button that I'll press after year 2. So I had to sit down and I had to work through some of those.
Oh. I'm not, you hear that? Now, I love that. He said, I'm not qualified because I have a self-destructing button I'm known to push by year 2. The things we learn about ourselves, that is absolutely something very profound. I know a lot of people can absolutely attest to this in some form or fashion. Let's go.
Those wounds that I was carrying that I didn't even realize until I was 30. I was like, oh, damn, I've got some wounds. I've been in 3 relationships, but I looked at everyone else as more of a problem. And I'm realizing, no, I'm the problem. So I had to sit down. But when I sat down, those wounds that I hadn't really fixed, I was angry. And so me and the Lord had to go on a lot of talks and walks. And after a while, I said, God, I can't even do this. I'm going into the world. And I want to do what I wanted to do, right? And when I came back, I had to sit down again and focus on the same mistakes and the same example that I had not fixed the first time. I had to go through it this time rather than going around it. So I think the reality is that each individual person, they have their own journey they have to take with them, right? Now, I do say that the longer you stay single, the more heat you're probably you're gonna build up, right? And again, but you still need to be able to ask whether, Lord, what time is it for me that I'm supposed to be married? Because at one point, if we're going to talk about who can give a relationship advice, Paul shouldn't be giving any relationship advice in 1 Corinthians 7. He ain't married and he's single. And yet he's telling people what you should and shouldn't be doing now.
Wait. Now, see, this is where it gets tricky too. So, because listen, so watch this, right? Watch this. All right, so this is how I propose it and why I say it gets tricky. Okay. Okay. Boom. Boom. What I believe is if a person is in a relationship and they build a large following and people really do click with them and the person that they're with, the whole nine. If that person is no longer in a relationship, let's say they wound up breaking up. You guys have been following this person for like the last 3 to 4, maybe 5 years. Let's say 5 years. You've been following this person and all of everything. And one day you see both of them. Y'all know how it goes. You know how the couples do. They make that little she on her thing, he on his thing. And they talking about how, so I know you guys know me and Jared, we're not together anymore, right? So watch this. So you've been following this person and you have seen this person in relationships. You know, they know what it is. You've actively have seen them for years or however long maintaining a relationship. So then for whatever reason between those two personally, between them, for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. Is that person to now step down? Do they now need to change their content? Should they now no longer have the right to speak about relationships? But you already know they've told you many stories and you all have sat there and cheered and hurrayed and y'all go power couple, black love, all this other stuff. So now that this person is no longer in a relationship, should they step down? So that's what I mean by when I say, when we keep saying, if you're not in a relationship, you shouldn't talk about it. What about the people who you've been following, who was in a relationship, you followed them, you know you love them, you stayed big up in them, you backed them, you shared their content and everything. They then split up. Should these people no longer have the authority to speak about relationships? You see the questions we never ask? Because I do. Let's keep going.
Now, of course, again, we're going to say that he's an apostle, and so he has some authority in that particular space. So I won't say that completely across the board, but I'm just giving it as an example.
Why is he sitting there praying? I like it. My brother.
Solomon is the wisest man on earth, ever. And that man had 1,000 people that he had 300 concubines or 700 wives or whatever, up to 1,000 women. How can the wisest man make the foolish mistake of having 1,000 women? So much women that it would even turn his heart away from God. Nobody is spared. This is what our brother was saying, Ken was saying. Nobody is spared. And the moment you believe you're above that, right, you will fall prey. So guardrails need to be in place. Yes, number one. Number two, understand what time and season is for you specifically. Right now, I feel like God is shifting me to a particular position. I'm just listening, yielding, and I'm moving. If he says go there, I'll go. If he says I'm going to be married at this time, I'm going to yield to that too. But the first and foremost thing is, as a Christian, yield to what God is saying to you. If it's marriage in year 1, fine. But that's not qualifying you. If God has called you to it, he's called you to a certain type of people.
Timing is timing. And I do believe timing, yeah, that's God, but timing is timing, period. Okay? And I do believe that we need to always make sure that we keep these things in mind. So right now it is, at this moment, it is 8:18 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. I can't force it to be 10 o'clock right now. I have to wait for it to be 10 o'clock. When it's 10 o'clock, whatever is taking place at that moment in my life is what will be taking place at 10 o'clock. Let's keep on rocking out.
When he's called to those people, go wherever he tells you to go. That's what I would say in that aspect.
There you go.
I guess part two of that question, because we had Max, shout out to Max Maxwell, man. We had Max Maxwell on the platform a couple years ago. He talked about how he met his wife, Mai, and it was at a conference for which he was speaking at. And she was a fan of the things that he was talking about. And one thing led to another. They went out for coffee. Now they married, I believe, with children. I believe he has his first baby.
I think so. Yeah, he did have his first baby.
So the part two of the question is there ever a time where it's okay for a single relationship coach to potentially entertain somebody that's a part of their community?
Yeah, I I mean, if it's the
why is Kojo laughing at that?
Hey, Kojo, he like, ooh. Yeah, that's how he can catch a heat.
Part of his community.
Well, because this is, I would imagine because me and Ty, we meet beautiful women all the time, and it's honestly the women that we meet. It's hard to find a woman that is completely unfamiliar with the platform.
Man, you know what's crazy? And to add to Ryan's point, now that I think about the woman I'm dating, she was low key a fan as well.
Yeah.
But not in this industry. When I was in real estate, me and Ryan was in real estate.
That was putting out content.
A big real estate company had like 8 salespeople, 4 people in a call center in the Philippines, all things popping off. And we would talk about it regularly.
Yep.
And I remember, late months into conversation, she would show me a journal of notes. Remember when you taught this day? Here's the notes. When I was like, wow. and I didn't even.
Hey, I'm telling you now, it is something about that right there. I actually experienced something similar to that myself. Just like, because I heard you were saying, and I'm saying to myself, I don't remember you being in the chat that day, nothing. No, I saw you, I was watching, I be looking. Okay, all right. Somebody is attentive. Somebody has enough within themselves to keep notes. Like, sheesh, that's all right right there.
Really, know all of these things, but those are sometimes some of the best women because they're so bought in to what you're doing, who you are. They've kind of researched you.
They've been watching for a while.
They've been watching you for a while. So Kojo, is that?
And my bad. Respect to everybody on the IG side. Okay, now respect to you. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I made sure to check on the side. If you got comments or whatever, I will respond to them. All right. This is a show for interaction. Okay. You can watch in the cut if you want to, but anything you got to say, I'll check in on you. Let's keep going.
Problem. I don't think it's a problem if you find your wife through the fact that you were on the podcast. I mean, we have female podcasts. I think I forget her name. Whitney recently got married and her husband saw her on our platform.
That's true.
But the issue is if you're speaking things like a lot of women watch men on podcasts because they really want to know how men think. They really want to know the mind of a man. The issue is if you're on here saying, if you do this, men will marry you. You do this, you do this, you do this. And then you meet a woman and she does all the stuff you said and you don't get married or you tell she's not the one. So you're giving out information, telling.
I've been that homeboy that like, and I know fellas, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's this dude, he dating a chick, right? She dope. Like, she just everything, right? And I mean, she just does for this man. I mean, she's just there, and the bullshit that he puts her, right? And so then you be saying to yourself, bro, you ain't gonna marry her? And he be like, hell no. Like, why? I mean, I'm just saying, bro. I mean, I ain't trying to get married and stuff. I'm like, but bro, like, you're with her every day. Why not? Just solidify it. Why not? And it's just something they don't, I don't know what it is. I've always been like, shit, considering I'm in the position, I'm talking about financially, everything. Like, I can actually take care of myself and you. And just in case another life pops into the situation, all of us will be just fine because of what it is that I bring, you bring, and we make this all one. Of course. But I'm just saying, like, I do not agree with just hopping into a marriage just because you feel so good. No. I got to know what it's like to feel so bad and then make it through that with you. And I got to know what it's like to come through that. We have to go through that dark tunnel. There's no getting around it. If you think the entire thing is going to be a playground, sunny day park, we on a seesaw, you're not the one. You're not the one. You must know. It just comes with it. Does it mean that it's supposed to be problems all the time and headaches and we always fighting? No, that's some toxic bullshit. No, you should be going through that. You should have peace in your life. When that person comes into your life, they should be adding to the peace. When you come into that person's life, you should be adding to the peace. We should not be disturbing one another's peace. Period. Let's keep going.
Women, these are the things you need to do for men, but you yourself, a woman doing all that and you not choosing her, is so hypocritical. Right. That's so damaging, because I've talked to women who dated men who said a thing and didn't do a thing, and it was very hurtful. So I think when you come out here in influencer space, giving women advice about men and telling them this is what y'all think and how to love you and all of that, and then a woman does that and you're like, no, I'm good, I still don't want to be married. What? I mean, you yourself should be convicted by that type of behavior, because at that point, you're just fishing and bringing women in. And I think just like pastors can abuse a flock, I think a lot of podcaster men who know that a lot of women are in this space are abusing a lot of women through this space as well. And that is a real issue, a real problem. And I would tell all the women, be careful falling in love through influencers. Right. That's just like pastors bringing you in. You can also be abused in that space. It boggles my mind why they don't listen to enough married women. Like, you do know we're in relationships with men. Right. We can tell you how to be a woman in a relationship with a man. A man telling you how to get along with a man is interesting to me, because he's not in relationships with men. So that's just me. Y'all go ahead.
And I think this is what I think is dangerous about men giving relationship advice to women. A lot of them are going to tell a woman what benefits them. Right. That's what's dangerous. And I tell women that all the time. I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not trying to sleep with you. But this man, may have an ulterior motive. He may have an agenda. I've heard other male podcasters say, oh, the way to a man's heart and getting in a relationship is being the dirtiest, nastiest sexual side of yourself.
Wow.
Whatever happened to just going through his stomach? Whatever happened to just a meal? I see. This is why I don't like. This is why I'm so out of the loop. Whatever happened? I thought she was going to say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Am I the only one that thought that was going to be the response? Am I? What just happened? You know the way to a man's heart? Let me speak to my heart. From what I see, a woman that cheers that man on and what it is that he pursues. If you see that man does podcasting, if you see that man's into a sport, if he's into doing models of things, diagram stuff, if he's into art, a woman who backs, you're just always, like he said, like Cuz said, how she took notes, that's cheering him on silently. But then she cheers him on. I would say out of anything that you could ever do, showing an interest in what that man does is something that is so huge value to us. And watch this. You don't have to be into what it is. That man can be into building miniature model houses. You don't care not a damn thing about that. You into your girly stuff, shopping online for different outfits, whatever it is you do, looking at property, but that's what he's into. You could not be into it. Still, just act like it. I'm serious. We don't mind. We don't care. We don't care if you fake it. Oh my gosh, babe, that's so, because it pushes him. Because believe it or not, whatever it is we're doing, before anybody else in the world, we want to be proud. We want you to be proud of us first, believe it or not. We want you to be the first one to be like, oh my gosh, that is so, we actually we like that. Or wow, okay, I see you. All those little things is what I would say, personally, more so than the meal, the sex, all of that. Sex is important now, okay? You got to make sure, But yeah, cheering that man on. We don't get a lot of support out here in the world. And when we know that you actually like you right there with that big foam finger with our name saying number one in that crowd, and as we look, we see you and you just rooting for us. that is beyond this world amazing to a man. I promise you, ladies, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Of course, a man is going to say that because it benefits him. So
now was he? Now here's my question. Was he? Hold on, Coach Ken. Hold on, Coach Ken. Was he single?
Yes, he was.
So now I think that's a big difference now, because
that's crazy.
With the single men, and I think it's a big difference between single men and married men talking to women, just personally. As far, because I can't imagine a married man that's really been married saying something like that. To be
facts, because first and foremost, like how it should be, how it usually is, it's just certain things that men in relationships will not say like that, just because we know my wife is going to hear this. She's probably in the next room. She might be somewhere watching this very show. Riding to the store, got the phone on the front of the car, just listening. And here it is, I'm saying something like that. Next thing you know, y'all wondering why the door getting kicked in and you see me getting yoked like this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of times I notice that men who are single, they will speak in a much more, I'm going to say it, reckless tongue. They can definitely be a lot more reckless in that area. Let's keep going.
Be honest with you. I mean, that because he knows.
I've never heard the men tell women, hold men accountable in these relationships, ladies. I ain't met a man on a podcast said, hey, hold these men accountable. Put
you
them.
must say, listen to mine. You must say, listen to mine.
Let me go find Ken.
Because first off, I gotta push back. I can't just.
Well, I haven't heard you, Ken, so that's not fair.
Okay. Just say the people I've heard.
I've heard. Yeah, you're
so
right.
What I'm gonna say is the reason why.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Let me see right here. Let me see what I got for us. This morning. Yeah, so we're just going to take a nice soothing commercial break, and we will be right back after these quick commercial messages. Okay, y'all ready? Let's go ahead and get back to the video.
I've grown.
The time right now is 8:32 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. I thank you all for tuning in. I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and rock out.
The way I've grown is because I'm even-handed. I believe that men need to level up. I believe that women need to level up, and to push.
That's another thing. The pressures of words. Men need to level up. Women need to level up. I believe when we say that, that puts a certain amount of pressure on us. I believe that, in my personal opinion, like at least if you're in my circle, I would say to you, just always continue to grow. Just don't get complacent. Be content, but do not be complacent. For the one who is content today is the very one who will most likely greet tomorrow. Be happy with what you have today, but don't just sit in that. Know that you always can elevate yourself. So just continue to grow, but don't put no pressure on yourself to level up. Like it's not necessary. And all I'm saying is that because then you'll set expectations on yourself, you'll have this vision. And then if for whatever reason life chooses that it doesn't happen when you feel as if it should happen, what generally happens in our mind, we can get discouraged and or give up and say, F it. And you don't want that because you put too much on your plate. Ease your way into it. Don't rush anything in life, but don't waste no time in life. Keep yourself at a steady pace.
Back a little bit on what the lady here was saying. Anita, I think it's Anita was saying, talking about how can a man give a woman advice, something like that. I say this. I say that because you're an educator, you go by science. And if we use your approach science-wise, that a man should be able to give a woman advice based on science, based on subconscious programming, based on attachment theory, based on all of those things, the science. Now, same thing should be, a woman should be able to give a man advice. But here's my thing. Why is it, y'all, that now we go back to the gender wars? Men can't give women advice. That's the problem we're having in the first place. With all of the reason why influencers can get in this space is because there's money in the war.
Men shouldn't give women advice. Men shouldn't give women advice. Women shouldn't give men advice. So, you know, the first thing popped in my mind. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I be thinking. The very first thing that I was thinking is, I'm a dad of a daughter. My daughter is a young lady. She's not a baby. She's not a kid no more. She's a young lady. I, as her dad, should not give her advice. When it comes to if she needs to talk about maybe a boy she likes now or something, she's at that point, she may start dating, go to the movies, you know, the simple stuff, right? Because it's a reality when our children reach a certain age. I remember going on dates at 15. So me as her dad, I shouldn't talk to her. She come to me, Dad, so I like this guy. So go to your mother. You're a woman. You should go talk to another woman. Go to your mother. So that's what I should do as a dad. Because, you know, our daughters and our sons, they're like, these very adults were once our young princes and our young princesses age. So I can give advice to my daughter, right? I can talk to her as a dad, but I can't talk to another grown woman as a brother to sister. Moms talk to their sons. Moms give their sons advice. There are a lot of sons who are very successful in life because of the tutoring and the teachings and upbringing of their awesome mother. So when that young man is going through something, if dad's not around, or let's say no, it's two family household. Mom, can I ask you a question about, you know, this girl I like? No, go talk to your father. But you're a whole woman. So if I know that mothers talk to their sons, and if I know that fathers talk to their daughters, why would we then come to these spaces and try to make that make sense? Somebody math that math up for me. I'll leave you to sit with that. I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 8:37 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. Thank you for watching.
There's money in division of women and men. And for me, on my side, the way I look at it, because I coach men and women, because I coach both of them from a different perspective, I simply say this. I simply say that, again,
My bad. I was muted. My bad. So over here, salute Pro SS7. All right. You know that number's my number now. Okay. I believe men should give advice to all of their children. Absolutely. What kind of dad would you be? You got 3 kids. Let's say, I don't know, two girls and a boy, or one each, right? And then, you know, you talk to some of them, but not the others. That's pretty low. You know what I mean? So I would say absolutely, because the fact is that there is advice. If I have a son and a daughter, there is advice that I can give my son. There are things that I can tell my son, right? Okay. There are things that I can tell my daughter and teach my daughter. It just depends on what the particular, like, for example, if it's something like, let's say, yard work around the house, I'm going to show him the proper way, because it's a method to it. You don't just go out and cut the grass. You don't just, no, it's the way you do things. I would show him that. If my daughter comes to me at the age of whatever, and she's like, Dad, I'm on my girly. I'm gonna be like, go to your mother. Let him talk to your mother. I have no clue of what to do right now. Dad is, I'm strapped. I don't have anything. Let me see if we can call your grandmother or something. But is your mother upstairs? Go talk to her. So it depends on what it is. And then there are things that as a dad or a mom, you can talk to your kid. Either one, don't matter. You can talk to them about it. I can't talk to my daughter or my son about life, just, interacting with people when you're out in public, things of that nature. I can't do that, right? Come on now. So let's keep on going. So I am with you on that, sis. Yes. Because the fact is, if you're a parent, yeah, you should be just talking to your children, period.
If your heart is pure, if you have strategies, you have knowledge, you understand the practical application of psychology, then it works both ways. But you have to hold both people accountable. I'm just not a proponent of this division thing, y'all.
We're not divided. We would. I love the men being on the podcast.
I hate that too. That's another thing I try my best to stay away from. I don't mind having a discussion. Look, I don't mind even it getting a little juicy sometimes. We all, come on now, we black folks, we like that. We all mind a little back and forth. It makes the show exciting. We know this, right? But I'm not with the gender war going back and forth. And y'all, man, yeah, well, what about the women? Oh, listen, all of that trying to point fingers, I've never been on that. Anybody who's ever been in a relationship with me knows. I'm not with pointing fingers. I'm not with, now I need to figure out what you're doing wrong. I don't have time for that. What is the problem? And let's both talk about this and get it handled. Let's both handle this. Whatever it is, if it's something strictly me, let's both talk about it and I'm going to handle it. Vice versa. Handle it. You see? This whole thing with somehow or another, like I've seen discussions be about hip hop, new hip hop and old hip hop. Somehow or another, if the group is mixed up enough with with the boys and the girls, right? If it's mixed up enough, somehow or another, somebody going to shift it into Lauryn Hill was better than Nas. And then now we got this gender war. So we started off talking about rap. We was talking about music. Somehow or another, we know how to always, somebody throws that smoke bomb of, yeah, let's turn this into D&P convo. I can't stand D&P convo. I'm just being real with y'all. I'm so past that. I've been there, done that, man. That ain't where it's at. Sitting around angry ass men blaming our sisters all damn day for shit that you probably can't fix yourself. Our sisters sitting around blaming good ass men for shit that they refuse to take care of within themselves. So now I'm just seeing a bunch of my own going back and forth over some nothing. Over some nothing.
Yes, I love that you're coming out doing the work that you're doing. I just want to say again, it's limited. Unless.
And my bad, and real quick. And then after all of that, you get off the panel. Yeah, you done got your rocks off. But did anybody learn anything? Watch this. So we're going to come back the next day and do the same again. Just keep on going back and forth. But yet we're supposed to be talking about how to achieve love, how to maintain a relationship. And here it is. I'm looking at bickering as if it was a relationship and y'all people aren't even in one. Y'all complete strangers, probably never met, probably never will. Here it is, y'all bickering worse than married couples that I see. But yet the whole panel is supposed to be about love. The whole panel is supposed to be about achieving certain things. I've seen this too many times in these spaces. I've seen it on this side. I've seen it on the IG side. I've seen it in Facebook lives. I see it. I know we all do. And then what's crazy is that, like I said before, for some strange reason, we don't want to seem to really big up the ones who are really doing what they can to put that work in. Like, no, we don't big up them. Nah, we don't say nothing to those people. We lead them, you know what I'm saying? Like But we go over there to where, of course, it's messy, it's juicy. But at the end of the day, those same people are the ones that it's messy and juicy because it's a panel full of people complaining about what it is they really want. Men, they really want those women, but they up there complaining and bitching and barking at them. Excuse my language. The women, they really want a man, but they're sitting up there barking and yelling at them. So I'm looking at a group of people that want each other, but they're like going about it in such like a, back like elementary, how like a girl may run up to you. I've had it happen. She'll punch you on the arm and run. That means she like you. I thought she wanted to fight. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. You got that one guy that'll keep joning on you, keep going on you whole time. It's because he like you. And that's why I say it, man. It's like these spaces, man, between Instagram, YouTube, all of this, yo. It's like high school all over again, yo. It's like the hallways of high school. It reminds me, I'm looking at everybody reliving being on the back of the cheese bus. I peep it. I see it. Yes, I see it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Unless you've actually dated a man.
That's fair. That's fair.
Unless you've dated a man, been in a relationship with a man, it's going to be limited to tell a woman how to get along with a man because y'all are a certain
Hell no. Oh, hell no.
certain way, and we have to be a certain way as a woman to speak into your life. You can tell me what your wife did to you and what worked with you, but you ain't been in a relationship with you. So when I'm talking to women, I'm explaining them, look, this is how you're going to have to operate because men operate a certain type of way because I have been in a relationship.
My mic is muted.
Man, you're going to have to operate a certain way because men think we are different from you. A man's mind is like many boxes, and each box has something in it, and we don't mix nothing up. Women's minds are more like a ball of yarn. A ball of yarns are real colorful, and there's different colors in the yarn. And it's like that whole ball of yarn is like truth with feelings, how I feel today, indecisive, everything, how I saw it as opposed to how everything is mixed in. We don't think the same. Is that bad? No, that is the complicated beauty of women. Yes, the complicated beauty. Is that bad that us as men, maybe the one box at a time is why we have a hard time being multitask at things. Maybe because you all have that ball of yarn all mixed up and everything meshes. Maybe that might be an indication as to why you multitask usually better than men. See, I like to go to the science of things as well. I don't just be caught up in how I feel about something. What's the backdrop on this? Let's go.
With a man for a very long time. So I'm not going to even tell, a man how to be in a relationship with a woman. I can tell you how a woman feels, but I think it would be a lot to be in a relationship with a woman because of our emotions, because of a lot of things. So he would be.
Exactly. Like I'm a Joan on you now. Look, because I tell people all the time, right? No bull. I tell you right now, proud. I tell people all the time, look, if I don't Joan on you, look, if I don't get on you here and there, if I'm too formal all the time, I don't rock with you like that. I don't. I rock with you when I cut a joke with you, right? If I cut a joke with you, that means you all right. Let's get back to it.
Be able to tell a man, look, this is how they are, sir. This is what I've been doing in my relationship with my wife because I understand women. You can give advice, but it's still going to be limited if you're not in the space. That's all I'm saying. You have to actually be in the thing to really tell somebody this is the experience of that. That's all I'm saying.
No, I get you. I understand.
Thank you. It's not the totality. That was an experience you had. Now watch this. Even then, that one experience you personally had with that one person may not be the next experience you have with the next. That's why you have to come into circumstances, giving each person a clean slate. Don't bring that what he did to you over here with me. I didn't do nothing to you. I don't know you yet. And I'm not to do the same.
Add to this too, because it's interesting as I've been learning a lot about the ladies, that really love learning about relationships, and that's really intentional about actually becoming better. I noticed I think they really preference listening to men. And I think they preference listening to men for one of the most obvious, the elephant in the room is because they want a man, and 2, I think there's just something natural about wanting to sit down almost in submission to sit down and listen and learn from a man, especially who they want to be with. Just as I think it's like similar to the psychology of I wanted to learn how to be a husband from a husband, one that I actually respected, a man I respected and I could see myself being like.
Why would I want to go learn how to be an electrician from a chef? Not saying that the chef don't have a side trade or hustle, but no, if you want to learn how to do hair, who are you going to get to teach you? You want to learn culinary? Who are you going to get to teach you? You want to learn how to fix cars? Do you not seek out a mechanic? You want to learn how to cut hair? Do you not seek out a master barber? Do you not seek out the person that actually is in that field? If I want to learn how to be a mechanic, why am I at the barbershop talking about where's the power tools? You mean them oyster clippers? That's about as what do you mean power tools? I need to know how to drop a transmission. We cut hair here. Anything that if I want to be a husband, that's why majority of my panels, it's people that's single. But majority of my panel consists of people who are in active, healthy relationships. Period. Because that's the energy I want to keep around me. And I don't mean just relationship, being with somebody. No, you can be single. I'm talking about just healthy-minded people. People who recognize that there is a balance with this. People who recognize there's more than one page to a book.
I think women almost want to sit down and learn from a man, almost one that they can look and respect and probably even see themselves being with.
Facts. I was about to hit that one. If they don't see themselves being able to be with you, they don't want to hear nothing from you. And you can be dropping the biggest bombs in the world. And that's a fact. I've seen it in my face. I've been on the panels. I have heard men come up who may not be the most, no one on the corner got swagger like us type, right? They may not be that type, but they really are saying something of genuineness. And they just getting heckled, booed. When was the last time you got your D wet? All kinds of crazy stuff. Why? Because it's something about if a woman's not attracted to you in some form of physical sense of something, it's very, very difficult. Now, you do have sisters out here who was attracted to mental stimulation. But even then, a lot of times it's weird that is something about the physical attraction in addition to that mental stimulation that must kind of work in tandem, if you would say. They have to connect. You see? Let's go.
Or at least having that level of respect, being a man like this man. And ladies, let me know what you think in the chat if there's some truth to that, because there's like a natural, almost easy love, like this natural submission that women have when it comes to learning from men, which is why I think also a lot of the men, their followings is just, it don't matter how they talk.
That's why a lot of them are still single, Tyshawn, because you yourself said, I'm not really listening to women. I'm going to talk to a man because I want to see an example and I want to follow a man and get mentored by a man. I'm not.
Yeah, and it's like, see, the thing is that you got to know which section. See, a relationship is built in sections, just like a house is. We don't use the same cleaning supplies in our bedroom that we use in the bathroom, do we? I don't think most of us in our bedroom, I don't think most of us have a toilet brush just sitting next to the bed and some Ajax, right? Where do we keep that? In the bathroom. So even though this is a house, right? Most of us don't keep dish detergent in the bath unless you're just low on hand soap. But most of us, you know, where's the dish soap? Where's the laundry detergent? Everything that we need for this house is located in the section of that house is needed in. So when it comes to a relationship, the different sections, sometimes you may need the cleaning supplies and the tools of a woman. Sometimes, depending on what you're doing, you need the cleaning tools and the supplies of a man. Let's take around the chore house. You might need laundry detergent or what have you, because you're getting ready to do these clothes. That may be the more feminine side, let's say. All right, now, while these clothes are washing and stuff, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna trim the hedges, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this yard straight. So now I need to go to the man's side of it, and I go to the garage and I grab my tools. I grab the lawnmower. You use different things to keep your house going, right? Your relationship should be a house that's becoming a home. So you're going to have to use the different tools at times. There's going to be times, yes, I need to talk to another man right now. And there are times, absolutely, I need that feminine touch in my life. I need to hear from you, my sisters. I need to hear from y'all. What you have to say is very important to me right now. Because I learned, that's what I always say to land it on this part, and I'll push play on the video. It kills me how people, it's like, me as a man, I don't never go around trying to talk like I know how women are and think. No matter how much I know I have experience dealing with women and being the father of a daughter. All right. I always say anything that I want to know about, like whatever I do know about women, it's because I shut up and ask you all. If I'm around one woman, a few, whoever, I'm gonna ask you, hey, let me ask you a question. So like, you know, generally with ladies, when it comes to how do you all, I'm gonna ask you, I'm not gonna sit there and assume and be trying to give another man some advice about that. I'm gonna talk to him about what we talk about as men. My information limits when it comes to that because I have a man's brain. I can't go from having a mind full of boxes that are separately stashed, right? Separately organized. And now I'm trying to put myself in the mind of a ball of yarn. And again, it's not a disrespect. It's literally because it's just a lot. Everything with a woman mixes all at once. And somehow or another, they know how to balance that out at times. So if I want to know anything about a woman, I'm going to ask you all. And that's the biggest problem. If a woman wants to know something about men, ask us. And ask in good faith. Don't ask like, hey, let me see what this nigga about to lie about. No, ask in good faith. What is it that you think? Hey, what is this when it comes to why do men do this? And you know what a lot of times I already know, ladies, this stuff, it just don't make no sense to y'all. You just can't see. And guess what? Same thing on our end. We couldn't wrap our minds around it if we tried. It's the same thing on both ends. And so I believe that when we get all of this gender war, whose fault it is, you know how we nip all that in the bud? When we finally truly recognize, a man thinks and operates different. A man projects information and receives information different. A woman operates and thinks different. A woman projects and receives information different. None is better than the other. We function and operate different. That's it.
Not gonna really listen to a woman. So the women ain't even taking your advice. If you're gonna listen to a man because you want an example of what you want to be, the women should be listening to women that are an example of what they want to be. Like if you're really trying to achieve a thing, you listen to married men because you're gonna be a married man, and you.
My bad. Dang, my bad. I was on mute. I find it difficult in some relationships as understanding. And most people want to be, that is, oh man, you talking about an issue there. The whole needing to be right about everything. And a lot of times, I even said it, many times before. It's not always about whose fault it is. It's not always about who's right or who's wrong in this circumstance. The fact is, if there is something right now that has us at a rift, let's calm it down. If we need to take a moment, let it breathe. I'll talk to you in a few hours. You want to call me tomorrow? You want to cool out? Okay. And let's approach this nice and mature. Just talk to me. Don't talk at me. Don't talk at me. Talk to me. And let me know what you're thinking. If you're not capable of doing that, it won't work. If you do not have the capacity to calm yourself down enough to just simply express what's on your mind and not tell me I need to guess what it is. And if I can't guess what it is, then apparently you have a talk with God and God tells you overnight that I'm not the one for you. Hold T. I'm just waiting for you to give me the task. I'm just waiting for you to just give me the task. What is the task? Because men love to problem solve. So I definitely get you on that. Yep. They like to be right without rhyme or reason. But collectively, if it's for a purpose that will go beyond our relationship, I believe we should collaborate on a logical solution to get the best. Now that right there, if it was over here, that would be my highlighted pinned. That is my highlighted pinned comment of the day. But collectively, if it's for a purpose that will go beyond our relationship, I believe we should collaborate on a logical solution to get the best result. Say less. Let's get back to the video.
You want to hear their mentorship. So when women totally negate listening to married women on this topic, it is astounding to me that they would say, I'm just gonna listen to the men. You better listen to some married women too. You better balance that thing, because you're not gonna get the full mentorship of what it means to be a wife.
Strong words from Tara right there.
Right.
Strong words from Tara right there.
Here, look at
Wait,
King.
Coach Ken, look at hey, Kojo. That boy, they rubbing cheers down there. They rubbing cheers down there.
Only the wife can tell a wife.
Hold on. Wait, let me watch this. Kojo. Can you as a single man help a woman become a wife?
Ooh, become a wife.
Ooh, you know what that reminds me of? Can a dad teach his daughter to be a mom? Can a mother teach her son to be a father? I like that one. Now that right there. Hold on. I got to put on my thinking cap for that. I need my thinking cap. Yes, this is a thinking cap, okay? It's not just a beanie, it's a thinking cap. Let's go.
I don't know if I can necessarily help her become a wife, because the work that I necessarily do is dealing with attachment styles. So I think for me, it's more about the relationship they have with themselves. But I love what our good sis was actually saying. I would say that above all things, there's also should be insight, because there's no point being a woman or a man and you're not able to give insight. See, there's a lot of men who can talk, but they don't have insight. They don't have self-awareness. So they actually can't explain anything about a man. All they explain is the brute aspects and animalistic aspects of a man, but not actually the evolved man and how he actually should behave.
Absolutely. Just like, for example, let's take, I'll give you a good example of that. What I noticed when us as men, when we try to give other men some form of, like, I guess, I don't know, teaching or something, you know, we real big on telling men not to express themselves, not having emotion. No, it's time and place with that. It's knowing when to be that and when not to, knowing when to be vulnerable and when not to, knowing the woman to be vulnerable with and the one not to. So I would say that's a prime example of what he's talking about, the brute of it. When men talk to men, we usually are in a very, very rough. And that's why, ladies, like, we look, I swear on life, that's why we look to y'all for that softer touch, because I'm telling you, from everything we get in the world generally, all the way down to being around our fellas, like, I can't call my homies and, like, really bust out and be like, you know what I'm saying? I can express it. I can get some stuff off my chest. It's a few good men around. in my corner, right? I got a few good on the dream team. But overall, men usually don't have nowhere to go when we feeling some kind of way. That's why the offing rates, like men deletion, is much higher. We don't be having nowhere. Like, yo, I'm telling you, a lot of dudes be stifled and backed up. And then when we try to go find somewhere, and then when it's like, okay, we come to that one place and it's like, we could be trick bag at times. We're told, nah, go ahead and open up. And we saying to ourselves, nah, I can't do that. I don't want you looking at me no kind of way. That's okay. Let it all out. You might get to weep and pouring like a baby. Oh yeah, she'll comfort you then. Let y'all get into an argument sometime down the line. And that's why I use a nigga. All of a sudden, that whole, and you saying to yourself, I knew I should have never did that in front of your ass. You saying it to yourself. Oh man. Much respect to everybody in the building today. I thank you all for tuning in. The time right now is 9:05 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. Thank you for watching. Let's get back to the video. Let me see if we got any okay. All right, just checking on the comments. Let's go.
So he's no use to anybody. And there are women out there too who are not connected to themselves. And so the awareness of even giving that insight to other women is not there. So above all else, people should be looking for people who have insight, who are able to explain, teach, break things down. It's almost like being in church, right? There's a lot of preachers, not enough teachers. And this is why the body of Christ suffers a lot, because people are not rooted. My voice keeps going. Sorry about that. There's a lot of preachers, not teachers. So you're inspired, but you're not necessarily taught. And so when you're not taught, you're not rooted. If you're not rooted, you'll be uprooted. And so the same thing happens in a relationship space. There's a lot of people who can inspire you to think about the next relationship topic. Let's do 50-50. Who's paying the bills here? Like the man and a woman gender wars. But those people create those kind of things because there are people who want to eat that kind of fruit. They're not wanting to grow, and they're not wanting to be transformed. They're not wanting to be mature. They are happy where they are. But those who are seeking for insight, who are seeking for wisdom, who are seeking to grow and mature themselves and actually go, actually, there's some work I need to do, they will resonate with content that speaks to them. And so it's the same principle. So you can't save everybody, right? And you're not for everybody. Everybody here on this panel is sent to somebody, and that particular community resonates with them because of their experiences, their knowledge, and their understanding, and they're able to speak to them in a particular way. Now, something that's really interesting for me is that I do have a more woman.
He talks really fast.
To men ratio, I think it's like 80-20. And I started asking myself, why do I have such a strong female base, not a male base? And number one, I realized it's because of the language.
I think because yeah, you definitely, because you talk fast. I can tell you right now, as a man, he probably has an awesome message. It's a lot going by because it reminds me of like when my lady telling me about her day or something. Like, you know how you're like, y'all do, and like, y'all don't know it. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. And see, that's the thing. I'm one of the men, I recognize and understand this about you all. I recognize it's just part of the nature and character sometimes. That's the organic asset of it. Sometimes y'all just go. You just get to going on a story. Right? And then we got to get that. What's that question we get? Now, repeat what I just said. Damn it. We try and catch them pieces that we caught. And it's only because, you know, it's not that we're not paying attention to you. We just try and keep up, but we're not trying to cut you off because we're trying to let you talk because we know you just want to vent. Oh, man. But we appreciate it when you let us do the same. Again, we can't open up with nobody else like we do with you when you're our lady. You're the one that we come to for that comfort and that nourishing. Let's go.
That I use. Men are very direct. Women tend to use a lot of nuances when they speak about subjects. Men are very action consequence. But that's not how I grew up. When I grew up around a lot of women. So for me, I was like, oh, it's natural language to speak in nuances and in what if. But men are very direct. When I listen to men, I'm like, oh, they're very, it is this and it's that. That's what they want. They don't want the nuances. So there's a difference in communicational style. So I have to even try to shift the way I even converse now.
Now watch this. You heard how he said that? Me knowing I'm very much so direct. I know at times when speaking with women, I can't just say, yes, that's what it is. No, that doesn't work. I can't just do that. Yes. Now watch. There's context is real. Nuance is real. Depending on the circumstance and situation, not all, But sometimes that's very much so needed to get the full grasp of what just took place. Everything is not black and white. Some newspapers come with the colored funnies.
To be able to attract more men. So that's, again, I have to be more aware of the way that I'm showing up. Paul says, I am all things to all men. He realizes that I have to show up in a different way. So again, that takes what? Awareness. So I think anybody who wants to really want to listen to anybody, first and foremost, ask the question. I think, Ken, you mentioned this. I think the ladies also mentioned as well. What is your goal? If you are wanting to be married, does this person give you information that can help you grow? For me, I can't help you necessarily get married per se. Like, this is what I'm going to put.
Right there. Does that person give you information to help you grow? Let's see what we got right here. I'm going to rewind a bit. Okay. I believe it's more so a challenge to know your partner's reaction to patterns. Well, I'll say this. Generally speaking, us as men, we're real pattern and routine. Generally speaking, I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't really speak for a lot of these new guys out here, sis, because I don't get down with them. I don't claim them. I am of a different cloth, and I always make that distinction. But like, men generally are pattern. We know exactly. Like you would know exactly 9 times out of 10 what's going on with us based on pattern. At least I can speak for myself and say that. Generally, I'm very patterned, right? As far as like how I operate, like me. Not my day. My day changes, right? Because the day changes. But me, who I am in each day, it's a pattern in how I operate. And you'll know when I'm upset. You'll know when I'm when I've removed myself from the whole thing. You'll know all of this. You'll know when I'm happy because I have a pattern. You see? So now when it comes to the women's side, I would ask you how that works. You see how that goes? I don't know on you all side. Plus you all are all individuals. So for each woman, it's going to be different. What may be something for you, you know, the next sis may be like, girl, you crazy. You see? And that's why again, the main thing you'll always hear me advocate is, and if I do, I guess, preach or teach anything, which now I'm just talking to y'all. We just kicking this for a little bit. I got about 20-25 minutes before I got to get up out of here, get my Sunday going. But look, if we spent more time actually, honestly learning each other, and the thing about it is, sisters, y'all just have to tell us what's going on and how you operate. From there, we take it away. Fellas, we have to definitely communicate and know how to communicate better. We have to know how to articulate what it is. We have to know how to paint a portrait with our words when speaking to them. When we speaking to our sisters, when you speaking to your woman or the person you want to be with or your wife, whoever, you have to know how to paint a portrait with what you say. You have to get that woman to actually envision what you're saying while you're saying it. So it's different on us when we're relaying the information. It's a way in which we have to do it. Certain words just we know is not going to sit right. Like, that's why I don't use the word submit. Like, for what? Need you to submit for what? I don't want a slave. I want somebody to work with me and cooperate. I know that generally is something that it's much more appealing. So you want your words to be appealing when speaking to one another. Ladies, you want your words to appeal to that man. Fellas, you want to make sure that you adjust. Don't change nothing about you. Adjust, adapt. At that moment, adapt how you address her. And you all should be able to have a much better dynamic if you do so. And you must be, number one, consistent in it. You can't start off doing it and let it drop. Keep doing the same thing every day, and I promise you, y'all should be just fine. Let's go.
Put you on a course and you're going to be now married. My thing is, have a good relationship yourself, because before you get into that marriage, even if you get it, you're going to ruin it. you're gonna sabotage it. So get a good relationship with yourself. Start healing those parts. And as you do that, just like we see in Adam and Eve, it's a mirror thing. You're going to attract the person who you're mirroring. Either two things. Number one, they have what you want. Or two, you want something that they have. And if you are not really healed and you're seeing things from a broken perspective, the things that you actually want aren't really what you actually need. And so that's a part of that relationship aspect.
Thank you very much, Coach. I think Ryan, you got something for the panel, right? We got some super chats, right?
I'm gonna read some super chats, and I want to get to this next
question.
Do it. Shout out.
No, that is interesting. That is interesting right there. What I want us to do is I want us to take a quick commercial break. I'm gonna run and grab me some juice out the fridge. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and I will be right back with you. Just stay right there. I feel better. Don't mind me. I like to let pineapple sit in my juice. Let's go.
Shout out to everybody sending us over these super chats. Shout out to Glorious Love for sending over the super chat. Shout out to all the initiates for joining us. Shout out to Dr. Smith says, I respect her take. It's more so about the track record. My oncologist may have never had cancer, but she must have a history of putting cancer into remission. Shout out to R Diva for sending over the super chat, and Aisha J for sending over that chat. Shout out to Glorious Love again, says, what do people that have been married for years and are widowed? What do people that have been married for years and are widowed? I can teach you how to be married to a memory. I'm not sure what Glorious Love is on. Listen, Love, you got to let us know what's going on. Shout out to R Diva again, says, you can learn in 3 ways: experience, observation, and information. Everyone has something to offer, but only God is qualified. Shout out to Mark27 for sending over the super chat, says epic fail. Our Diva coming back again says, nowadays divorce was finalized. Did you have a desire to be remarried? If you do, what challenges do you have? What challenges have you experienced that have prevented you from identifying a husband during your 22 years of singleness?
Wow.
Save a Christ with the hard questions.
I did not desire to be married right away. Maybe about 10 years after my divorce, I desired to be married, and I had met a man, and we went through pre-engagement counseling.
I just want to say briefly, shout out to people that actually do really take time. Like, I mean, truly take time to themselves before just hopping in something. Like me, myself, I'm not in a relationship. I speak to someone. I'm not in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I don't know. I do believe that if you were in a circumstance and you really truly were putting your all into it, you don't have it right then and there, that moment right after that, to just be put. It's just, I don't know, that's weird to me. I believe in that moment of recuperation. And I mean, just kind of gather your thoughts. Some people, it depends on the time. So again, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, you need to take it. Yeah, I don't know how long you need to take. Like she said, she took 10. Might only take about 4 or 5 months for somebody else. everybody functions and their brain operates different.
Counseling, and then he backed out. He decided that he wasn't ready. Since that relationship, I've kind of just focused on myself.
What are you saying now? So, if so, how can this union keep going? Give me a little bit more on that. If so, how can this union keep going? Give me a little bit more on that so I can give you a better response.
Focused on my purpose and my calling. And that's what I've been doing. So I do desire to be married, and I am going to follow God's blueprint this time. And, as I posted just today on my platform, those type of men, when I'm following God's blueprint, they come along few and far between. So I'm just, keeping.
And again, like I was saying earlier, even down to like when the brother was talking about speaking to men, and it's tough to get like, the good ones to come through and come around. And shout out and salute to everybody in the building. I appreciate everyone for tuning in and interacting. Much respect to you all. Thank you so much. But same thing. I'm telling you, when you decide to go about this whole thing like the proper way, it ain't no fly by night. And one thing I've learned in 42 years of living is this: fly by night goes just as fast by day. That's what I've definitely peeped and picked up when it comes to this whole fly by night thing. Like, it just has to be, why aren't we here yet? Why aren't we there? Why aren't we this? Well, because it's too much outside influence. And that's the one thing I've definitely learned when it comes to this whole relationship thing too. That's why I'm doing this video. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the influences of social media is a mother. And it's destroyed so much. Influences from social media has absolutely destroyed a lot of people out here. And it's destroyed people so much to the point where folks will pull a phone out and start recording what they're going through. Now, I understand if you're doing it for some legal reasons, but if you're doing it just for the gram and you don't never take that to court with you, I understand that part. More so the discretion aspect of it. But let me not get veered off the topic. Let's get back to it. Let me see what we got. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get back to it. Boom.
Keeping my eyes open for God's blueprint for what a good husband is. And if that man desires to be in relationship with me, then yes, I will be married again.
Understood. Brief and brilliant. I like that. Shout out to Anita. And shout out to all the panelists. I got a question for you, because something else that Keita Rose talked about was it's alleged that Ace would pretty much set up these conversations and he would identify who is to play what character, right? So, me thinking about this, I'm like, well, they are going on tour. They do have a show. It is, some level of show business and performing arts, so to speak. But then I thought about, literally yesterday, we met somebody and it's like, yo, Ryan, like, man, it's so nice to meet you. You literally are the same person you are online. And I thought about that. And I'm like, yeah, I am the same person.
I talk about that so heavy. I tell people all the time, whoever you see me to be right now, tenfold in real life. And it is a beautiful thing when there are people who actually recognize you, and they actually, because I've gotten that a million times over, like, bro, you just like how you, I've even gotten that a lot of times as far as you look just like how you do online. It ain't like you see me and it's like some different character. Nah, I look just like this every day. Let's keep on going. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. I thank you all for tuning in. The time right now is 9:24 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's go. Let me check over here. Let me see. Okay, hold on. So, all right. Miss Seven says, in general, when we think we know something, as they, so you can hold on. Let me read this first. Hold on. Overcast negative responses out of bitterness and past trauma. Oh, okay. So you saying in general that when think we know some on and some think we know some, and they in general when think know some and they, so you can overcast the negative responses out of bitterness and past trauma. Yeah, it's a lot of bitterness and past trauma that goes on. It's a lot of unresolved issues that people have yet to deal with. And unfortunately, you know, in our community, we're not the biggest fans of, like, you know, going to get therapy and help and things of that nature. You know, after going through what I went through, I definitely went and had therapy. You know, I was in a bad accident, and I went and definitely got myself some help for that, as far as, like, you know, just having to adjust and things of that nature. So let me see. When you think you know someone, you don't. Got you. Oh, I got you. When you think you know someone, you don't. Okay, so they got you. A general. What do you think you know someone? And the overcast of their past trauma and bitterness shows. Yeah, I do get that in general. Yeah. Nah, that's heavy right there, sis. That's heavy. I like that though. That's and see, you seem to get it. You seem to recognize what that is on that part. So I appreciate you. Let's go. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
You know, so I kind of took pride in that, but you know, we also not doing 7,000 people in a stadium, in an arena. You know what I mean? Type of situation. So I'm curious, what do you guys think about that? Is it fair for you to put on, so to speak, as a creator and position yourself, and maybe it's not all the way authentically you off camera, but maybe it's some level of what would you call that?
What is it? Is it exaggeration?
Yeah, some level of exaggeration or character.
A persona.
Yeah. Is that fair? Is that fair?
It's called entertainment.
I don't think it's fair if you're trying to really push in a particular agenda, or you trying to teach something. Like when I do my wives boot camp, like it's on my website now, towerbody.com. Shout out to Chris Cross if you really want to get some information and coaching on being a wife. When you meet with me, you meeting me in my living room. It's a Zoom call, and I'm talking just like this. I love when people see me on these shows because they said it seemed like you were authentic and could reach me. And I said, I hope you really saw all of my podcasts and how I am, so you can really understand this is how I counsel, this is how I coach. Right. It's just a more intimate setting, but I would never put out a persona that I'm not actually living out. If you talk to anybody that know me, they'll say, Tara been that way forever.
Sis did it again. She done did it. She did it. Oh man, she did it on that one. I say that 24/7. Anybody who knows me will tell you exactly who you know up here. I have been this person forever and a day. The only thing that's changed, of course, is underwear and definitely mentality. As far as I've just grown, I've just calmed down. You know, I'm in my gentleman stage of life. You smell me now? That's all that is. But other than that, I'm exactly who I've been since teenage years, man. I've always been just that chill, like laid back dude. I always been that dude that knows how to see life from multiple angles and perspectives. I don't have a one view set because I'm not one dimensional. Neither are you. It fascinates me how we are three-dimensional beings. You are. This is a three-dimensional realm that we are in, but yet people think in one dimension. It's weird. It's weird. You consist of more than one dimension, just your makeup. I'll leave you to think about that. Let's go.
Like my friends, they laugh when they see me on these.
We got about maybe 15 more minutes before we get up out of here. I thank you all for tuning in. The time right now was 9:29 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. We will finish this, and I also, trust me, I got plenty more. I got more awesome topics for us to talk about. We just getting started on this one. Let's get it.
Podcast, they like, you are you, and I was just shocked you're you out there in the public the way that you are with us, because I'm going to be me.
Yep.
That's the way that I can always stay authentic, because I don't want you shocked in the counseling space. I don't want you shocked when you meet me. I tell anybody, I pray you did your research before you came into counseling with me, because you know that I'm direct. I'm going to use biblical principles, and I'm going to speak directly to your situation. Now, one of the things
She stay killing it.
Even when Tyshawn came to me for premarital, I immediately introduced him to my husband. Why? Although I'm the one with the marriage counseling degree, although, you know, I know everything about marriage, I am not a man. And I said, but I know a man who is walking this walk that I would trust. And I send some of my male counseling clients to my husband for coaching. I had him go get his license. I said, go get a coaching license, because you're walking this walk. You're a great.
And look at that right there. She's the one, she said it, she the one with degrees and all of that. But what she preaches and what she talks about, she didn't like, you know what? How come you don't have this? Or this isn't attractive because, you know, you should just know that you should be. Nah, she went to him. She communicated, said, you know what? Yeah, you should go ahead. And I'm pretty sure she assisted that man every step of the way. Who knows? Because maybe he knows how to do that himself. Maybe, I don't know what he does for a living. But apparently, you know, certain things you have to know how to channel into them. You know, all fields, everybody don't know how to necessarily just jump into that, right? So that's my whole thing when it comes to that. That is right there. Awesome. So not only is she talking to the women, and there's some men that come to her for counseling as well, she made it very clear. I'm not a man. I swear, yo, when we really harness that and get it, like, ladies, you're not us. Fellas, we are not them. That's why we attract. That's why we attract.
Mentor, and you know a lot, sir. And you need to be out here mentoring these men. Every man that I come to, I say, let me introduce you to my husband, because I am not a man. But he has been able to navigate this husband space well. Talk to him. Now, if I wanted to keep the money and keep all the attention and stuff, I say, yeah, you can talk to me. I'll tell you how to get to know a woman. No, if we're really taking this stuff serious, y'all, and we're really trying to help God's people and everybody else out here, we have to say, let me get you to the person that can help you. Let me see what you really need, and I will push you there, because I really want you to grow. I want everybody to have a wonderful marriage. I love my marriage so much. I pray that other people get to experience a good relationship like the one that I have. That's gonna push you down, tell you you're not worthy of being married. I tell every woman, oh, you can be married.
And that is something I never tell nobody. I would never tell nobody, you ain't gonna have nobody. How dare I pierce my lips to speak of someone in such a manner, whether I like them or not? How dare I tell somebody you're gonna be lonely? I can't stand when my fellas tell that to my sisters. And I can't stand when my sisters say it to us. That shit is wild. Love to see more about Oh, absolutely. Oh no, definitely. I absolutely. I absolutely appreciate you too. You know I do. Definitely. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. It's little things like that that keep brothers like us going, and you know that. All right. But yeah, nah, do what you're doing. We got about 10 more minutes. We about to wrap this up in a bit. And I'm gonna see you guys later on tonight around 7. So just stay tuned.
Let me help you navigate how to get the skill sets to keeping a marriage, but you can be if you want to, and if you want to learn how to be one.
There you have it. Shout out to Jason.
Go ahead, Ken. I see you got something.
No, I was just going to say this, though. Let's go back to tonight's conversation. That was never supposed to be built as a relationship platform. That was entertainment. And so what happened was the people began to look at them as experts in
You know what's crazy? That's the thing about it. Relationships are serious. Now, we can have fun with it. I mean, you can have fun with anything, right? But relationships are serious. So listen to what he said. And do we not recognize that that's generally what the case is? People just be playing with it. Oh, no, we was just up here for entertainment. Y'all all of a sudden start calling us relationship gurus. So when they say it was for entertainment first, right? What does that mean? That means that the entire platform was not set up and designed. It wasn't designed to help you grow and find love. It was designed to help you get your rocks off and have a few laughs and maybe take your mind off of the reality that you don't want to be in right now. Let's go.
In relationships. And so that is when, as Keita said, it shifted. So if they had a persona doing entertainment, okay, that's what that was. But when it shifted and people start looking at it as I'm taking relationship advice as opposed to the entertainment that it once was, that was when it changed. That was when it changed, y'all. Because she said it was entertainment and everybody had a persona. But then because now the situation is everybody is looking at them as though they're therapists, as though they're coaches giving advice. That's what happened.
And I'll leave it there. But the thing about it is this, though. Now, how do we see that has been the case? We see that to be the case because a bunch of people do what? Go online and try to seek answers. Don't people just pull their phone out and just go live and start talking about their problems? We've seen that. I know. You've seen the same thing I've seen, right? They'll just pull that phone out and just be like, hey, y'all, so let me tell you what happened. So, if you come across some people that definitely may have and share similar stories, a lot of people, a lot of times may wind up building groups of trauma bonding. A lot of people are building groups of growth as well. So that's another thing I want to make sure I do make clear. There are people in these spaces that definitely are here for genuine reason. I would say I'm one of them. I know why I'm here. I'm here because I recognize that there are areas of this whole thing that aren't being tapped on as much. That's all. I think we like to, consume more of the fun parts of it. Ooh, bad breakup. Oh my gosh, this is so great. You're together and stuff. We like to celebrate just, kind of those two dynamics. And then the D&P conversations. Men ain't women ain't nothing. But there are so many different angles and areas of this that just aren't being tapped on. So I'll go ahead and I'll do that long, drawn, slow road of tapping in on these things a lot more. And so absolutely, most definitely, we are going to, I gotta give y'all a nice little outro. Y'all make sure most definitely, make sure that you go over to DJ Witch Doctor for wonderful intros and beats and things of that nature. I'm still developing my skills on these graphics. So just give me some time. I'm working on it. We getting there. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Respect to you all.
Now what you in a rush for? What you trying to meet your maker, darling? Oh, you running out of time, huh? time ain't even real. You really don't know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Oh, you're running out of time. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. It's all an illusion. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Oh, you're running out of time. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. It's all an illusion. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Oh, you're running out of time. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. Time ain't even real. You really need to change. It's all an illusion. Now what you in a rush for? But you trying to meet your maker, darling. Oh, you running out of time. But time ain't even real. You really don't know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Know what you in a rush for. Trying to meet your maker, darling. Know what you in a rush